I spent most of my 20s the dictionary definition of skinny fat. Like, I looked all right in a t-shirt, but I looked like a sack of shit without one. I wasn't fat enough to be fat, but equally, I definitely didn't look like I took lifting seriously. And to make things worse, no matter what I tried to do to fix it, things just got progressively worse. The aggressive bulk, forcing calories down, thinking that I needed to gain some size. The aggressive calorie cuts, the excessive cardio, it all just made things 10 times worse. I was trying to chase too many things at once. I looked like a sack of shit, I felt like a sack of shit, and I was close to just throwing in the towel. But in this video, I'm going to talk you through step by step what I did and what you can do to ditch the skinny fat look and finally build a physique that you're proud of. Firstly, let's address the skinny fat, or the fat part of the skinny fat. Now, that isn't me saying you're a fat cunt, unless you are, in which case everything I'm about to talk about still very much applies. But if you're carrying excess body fat, I cannot stress this part enough. Do not attempt to increase calories and gain size. Just stop it. Whilst the long-term goal might be to build muscle, build size, look like you lift, if you do that now, you'll just end up even fatter. Instead, this is what you're going to do step by step to ditch the belly fat, get leaner, and then finally build some muscle that fills out a t-shirt and makes you actually look like you take lifting seriously. Now, before we get into the video, if you're completely clueless as to where to start with your fat loss journey, click the link in the description. I've created a free guide that will set you on the right path and give you all the tools you need to hit the ground running. So to start off with, we need to start with the dieting phase. We need to get you leaner. Now, without getting too scientific and too fucking boring, muscle is more thermogenic than body fat, which means the more muscle you have compared to fat, the more efficient your body becomes at metabolizing food. The easiest way to explain this is imagine throwing a toilet roll onto a fire. It would burn that shit up straight away. Now imagine throwing a wooden log onto a fire. It's going to take a lot longer for that log to set alight, burn away, compared to the toilet roll. So ultimately, the leaner you are, you become the toilet roll in the fire, but the fatter you are, you become the log that takes an absolute fucking eternity to burn away. It's a very simplistic analogy, but ultimately, the leaner you are, the more efficient you will be at metabolizing calories, which means that when we reverse diet and bring calories up, you will build a much better quality of size and a much more aesthetic physique. And as I say, if you're completely clueless as to where to start and how to calculate your starting calories and macros for the fat loss phase, click the link in the description. It'll walk you through it and it'll help you calculate everything that you need. Then you need to track everything. Now, no, it's not obsessive before you start with all that shit. It's a way of controlling your intake, tracking data, so we have reference points to manipulate if things start to plateau at a later date. Spend time planning, prepping, tracking your intake, because if we can leave no stone unturned, it's going to massively increase your chances of success. Now, how long you'll need to diet for is very case dependent. Depends how much body fat you've got. If you're a fat cunt and you're carrying a lot of excess weight, might be a long 6 to 12 month process. I wouldn't do that in one hit. I'd break it up into a diet phase, a maintenance phase, then diet again, and so on until we've got to that end point. But for most people who are carrying maybe 10, 15 kilo of excess body fat, 12 to 16 weeks, or until you're lean enough where you can see some form of definition through the midsection. Now, when you've reached the end of the diet phase and you've achieved what we spoke about in the previous part, that's when you start the reverse diet. That's where we slowly and incrementally increase calories towards maintenance. It's not a huge jump, so it's not like you're going to ramp your calories up 1,000 a day. It's a small incremental increase over a period of weeks. And the idea is that we increase your intake, but body weight pretty much stays at a similar level to what it was at the end of the dieting phase. Now, when body weight does start to creep up, that's usually an indication that whatever the caloric numbers and whatever your calories were set at previously is pretty much your maintenance for that new body weight. Now, this is where the fun starts. You've spent time sacrificing things, saying no to things, having to restrict things, and just battling hunger and fatigue and a drop in training performance. But you've come out the other side. You're leaner, you're sexier, you feel fucking incredible. Now's the point where we can increase calories. You've nailed the reverse diet phase fucking perfectly, and we're still holding a similar sort of condition than we did at the end of the diet phase. Now we slowly push food up even further, out of that maintenance and into a slight calorie surplus, so that we can slowly and incrementally gain somewhere in the region of 0.3 to 0.6% of total body weight per week. That's a good happy medium to know that we're gaining a good amount of size without becoming a fat cunt in 16, 20 weeks time. The goal in an improvement phase or in a surplus is to build muscle tissue, get strong as fuck, and develop your physique. However, I cannot stress this part enough. It is not a green light to just throw caution to the wind, start eating like a child, including loads of piss poor quality foods, or approaching it with the whole if it fits your macros and shoehorning any old shit into your diet because it fits your caloric targets. Food will be higher. That means it's going to place more stress on your digestive system. So we need to still prioritize food quality, including things, like fruit and veg like an adult human being, so that we're not going to feel like shit. We're not going to gain too much body fat. We're still going to have a good, healthy, balanced diet whilst managing higher calories. As to how long you need to spend in an improvement phase, 16 to 20 weeks. And if you've nailed it perfectly and you haven't used it as an excuse to have a little bit of this and sneak a little bit of this in and get a little bit lazy at weekends because I'm not dieting anymore, then you should have got strong as fuck, built some muscle tissue, developed your physique, and be in a far better position than you were 16 to 20 weeks ago. But that is very much dependent not only on you keeping your shit together and prioritizing food quality from a nutritional standpoint, but actually turning up to the gym and training hard, taking sets towards failure, focusing on setup, execution, making sure we're contracting muscles, not just turning up and going through the motions, moving weight from A to B and using it as a tick box exercise before you carry on with your day, actually training like you want to build some muscle. Then once you finish the improvement phase, we go back into a dieting phase, but only this time it might not need to be as long, maybe 6, 8, 12 weeks, just to pull off any body fat that we gained in that improvement phase. Then you repeat the process for years and years and years. Build, refine, build, refine, build, refine. Suddenly, 12, 24 months later, you're not skinny fat anymore. You're lean, you've got plenty of muscle, you actually look like you lift, both in a t-shirt and without a t-shirt on. I mean, I say suddenly, it's a slow fucking process. It takes time, effort, discipline, consistency. But let's face it, the next couple of years are going to roll by anyway. You can either implement this shit today, and in 12 months' time, 2, 3 years' time, you will have a physique that you can only dream of, or you can carry on doing what you're doing and you'll look no different. In fact, you might actually look worse. But what you do need to do and what you do need to accept is that this shit takes time. Start thinking in years rather than weeks and months, and you will have far greater success with your physique development. And that, my friend, is how you ditch the skinny fat look, build some muscle, get lean, look like you lift, and start getting rewarded for your efforts. Anyway, hope you found that useful. Do me a favor, massage my ego, hit the subscribe button, and I'll be back this time next week with another video. Much love, Coach Chris.